Hey everyone, welcome to the Friday stream where we're doing the Sea Fury.
Oh,
Hello, Gary Squared.
Hello.
yeah. So we got
Hi, Dave.
shitty intro with shitty music now.
Yes. It's the best I can do,
okay.
I'm afraid.
Well, it's a step in the right direction.
Yes, because StreamYard are being money grabbing. So and so is Gary.
Ooh.
They've decided
Ooh,
that
dear.
then they won't allow you to do your own intros now unless you pay £33 a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're literally, they give you a few of the clips like that we just played, and that's it. You can't put anything else on.
Okay. For £33 a month.
Yeah.
Do they not want customers or something?
Obviously not.
If it's £15 a month, then I'd have paid that. I'd have been quite happy paying that for the full StreamYard thing. But they doubled it, didn't they, a few months ago?
Yeah.
I already pay them for StreamYard to do various things.
Yeah, because
so now
you
I've got to pay even more.
No, because you pay, you're fine. But I was on the free account.
Oh, I see. Right. I'm with you.
Unless you pay for the subscription, you don't get any of the stuff other than a modders.
Right. I get the same with my video editing. I use a thing called Filmora, which is free.
Yeah.
But then to do a lot of the bits I want to do, you have to pay for those as an extra, and it works out, well, I might as well just buy something. So I'm going to work on DaVinci Resolve when I go away in August and try and learn that.
Yeah.
I don't like paying for stuff that I don't really need, you know what I mean?
I mean, I was looking at different options because, like I said, I don't mind paying £15 a month. That's fine. But if you look at the other ones, then they're all about £15 to £25 a month to get everything you need to do the stream. But you can only have one seat. If you want more than one seat on the team, you have to pay £40 a month.
Right.
And that's just ridiculous.
It is. Yeah.
So
there we go.
And I spoke to the membership, and they just said, as long as you're doing streams, we really don't care about the intros. So
there you go.
We're just using it as a filler now, so that John Marley can't say anything he shouldn't in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
As is his whim.
That's my coffee. That's my coffee.
So there you go.
Coffee.
Gary's been updated.
Coffee. I ordered tea. There we go.
Coffee.
It's grateful. Coffee.
I've got coffee, water, and I've got a can of ginger beer in my mini fridge.
I've got coffee and a litre bottle of orange squash.
Yeah. Very posh.
Very good. I think I've got a non-alcoholic beer in my fridge, and that's it at the moment. My coffee machine needs descaling, which is very distressing.
Haven't your staff been on it?
No. Well, it's summer, and apparently there's these laws about having to give them holidays and things.
Oh, right.
You know, I'm very much of the Edmund Blackadder. You can have the afternoon off when you die. You know, but apparently that doesn't align with modern practice.
Oh, I've just found out why John's not here.
All right.
Because apparently his computer won't accept the hyperlink again.
Ooh.
So I'm going to have to...
That does sound so Star Trek, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Captain, we can't do it. The computer won't accept the hyperlink.
Engage the hyperlink.
Yes, apologies for anyone I offended with the attempted accent.
Well, today, before it got too hot, I managed to get this into primer. And I've got the first coat of the sky on it. But it needs another coat, but it won't get that till tomorrow morning because it's too hot here to spray now. Well, I was panicking slightly because I was feeling like I was falling behind.
No.
But as me and Mikey were discussing, I have done all the weapons and the undercarriage is all done. And The prop is done. So
Lovely.
it's probably 6 2/3 about. It has to be in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Mr. Marley doing then? Is he?
I've just sent in the code thing.
Okay.
I think.
He'd be swearing in ancient Aussie.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the code is just the last 10 digits of the StreamYard link. So I don't know why you can't just write down the number at the end of the StreamYard link and then just type that in. I mean, I'm pretty sure he can read and write.
Well, on his day.
He was an electrician.
Yeah, on his day.
Yeah.
So, so we've got anybody in chat?
Oh, we've got lots.
Oh, what's going on?
Well, not lots of people in chat, but lots of chat. Morning, guys. Got me thinking of James Bond movies. Richard Keel, he was in Force 10 from Navarone 2.
Yes, he was one of the partisans, wasn't he?
Wasn't he in Happy Gilmore as well?
I don't know.
Ooh,
I think he's in Happy Gilmore as well.
You're
It's
right.
the big guy towards the end who's shoots McGavin's ball lands on his foot and he has to play it off his
Oh,
sneaker.
yeah.
I think
Yes.
that was Richard Keel.
Yes, it was. John also says Kim Basinger was in Never Say Never Again. What an awful film that was. Sean Connery did that movie again. Hello, by the way. Yes, Never Say Never Again was probably the biggest mistake Sean Connery ever made doing that film.
John says, you can tell I need a cup of coffee. I said hello twice, lol.
3 times, huh?
Yeah.
Scott says, Good Friday, everyone. Good
Is
Friday.
it? Do you get Easter eggs on Sunday?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
You can have an egg.
Oh, don't talk to me about eggs. We've got that many eggs in our fridge at the moment.
Good fart ammo.
We could reenact that scene from what's the film called? Are they eat all the hard-boiled eggs?
Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke. That's it. Yeah. There you go. I drivel on a bit. Gary Markham says, John, you need a hobby to keep you occupied. Bobby can send you a strange beast to play with. He has too many to play with now, lol.
And John Thompson says, lol.
Jem says, Greetings, purveyors of ancient films and guessology. Yeah.
And John says, I felt he like the first show up at a party.
John says, hope you're well today, Gary.
There's 3 Garys on
it. Yeah, Gary squared.
Yeah.
Gary Cube.
Yeah. Jim says, behind you, Johnny, is a starting grid, a standing wave of punters, riders, professors of mirth, and a lot of really oddball thinking. Kidding. No, you're not.
Bob says, hail all, and especially Mr. Markham, posh. Strand beasts overtaken by sprue cutters, accidentally bought 2 boxes of 10. Jesus.
What? Bob says, waiting to hear if M4H want them. Good idea.
Hey!
What time do you call this?
G'day.
Again, I was having trouble. The hyperlink just
out of interest, have you yet figured out how to use pen and paper?
I'm not sure what you mean.
The hyperlink, the number is just the last 10 digits of the hyperlink. If you
I
write
can
it
show you
down,
what's
that's the last 10 digits.
no, but we'll talk after the show. I'll show you what's going on.
You can swear.
Yeah, I can swear then. Yeah. But it's it's not you problem, it's not a me problem, it's an IT problem, and there's that. Hello everyone.
Hello.
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 I'm sure Bob M4H would gladly accept them.
Well, who knows?
Me? I'm well, thank you, John. Hope you're the same despite the heat. I'm at work now, just watching our live streams. K-pop getting underway.
Yeah.
How nice.
Oh, my turn? Bearded Veteran Crate says some incomprehensible gibberish in Welsh or something like that. Says M4H use specific ones from specific sources, Bud, because they have to be sure that they're safe, because if they break and a beneficiary gets hurt, then they could get sued.
Yeah. That said, they don't just operate with one, though, so...
Yeah. Tiff says, good morning, folks. Hope you're all well. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on. It is much appreciated.
The Imperial thumbs up button.
Yes, it's the Imperial one today because easier.
Yeah.
And GM says, Bobby, is this OCD repairable? Maybe 10 cc's of WD-40 in your tea may clear this. But knowing Bobby put 40 cc's in, I doubt it. Sprue cutters, anyone?
It farts and slide off the chair.
Bob, next time I need paint, can you order it for me?
Gary says, hello, Tiff. Do you have a zap button handy? Some members only chat need a zap or two.
Gary also says a new spell checker would help here.
Yeah. John says, I had a great idea for a car. Hyundai did an orange sports car. You could name it General Rhee. That could be cool because Sigmund Rhee was a general before being president. Laugh out loud. There we go.
And John also says, for me, I got a new wireless keyboard. Hurt my back and typing in my recliner in my living room instead of the den.
Oh,
Nice. And John says, when we did the motorcycle build, I would like to do a Kettenrad, a motorcycle with attitude. They were aircraft tractors too.
They were.
Indeed.
GM says, not seen an orange Hyundai. Oh, Hyundai. Pretty sure Rhee was some sort of arsehole. He was quickly removed. Daughter's Hyundai is red and very fast on the track. And Nürburgring.
Nürburgring?
Nürburgring model. Okay. Oh, yeah, the Hyundai i30N. Yeah.
John says, love changing the oil in my old Sonata. Didn't need a ramp.
And he says, I have a cheap Jeep. He says, I now have a Jeep Cherokee, not a cheap Cherokee. The Sonata was my third car.
My dad used to have a Jeep Cherokee. It was fun to drive in the snow.
Guy says, we tried a rebuilt Kettenrad to move our aircraft around the place. Poor steering, poor power output, shocking fuel burn rates. Sold it to a UK buyer. We used a Jack tractor and a Douglas plane pusher.
There you go.
John says, kind of seemed awkward in design, but interesting.
I do like the fact he said it was rubbish. It couldn't do anything it's supposed to do. It drank fuel like a drain. So we sold it to some bloke in the UK. Results.
Yes. A shout out to Kia. I'm sure he's enjoying it.
It's probably Bruce Crompton. GM says, possibly good in muddy fields. Yeah.
Julian's in, says, morning all. Morning, Julian.
Hi, Julian.
Hey.
John said, I heard that.
Bob says, Posty, what's here today? Well, 30 of something.
Surely you must quake in your boots when you see the postman turning up.
The bank account had quake in my boots for. John says, there was an American tracked motorcycle, forgot what it was, saw one on TV being restored. Yeah. The track Land Rover was cool. I wouldn't mind doing one of them.
John says, hi, Robert.
Bob says, good morning, Mr. Thompson. See, some of us are getting it right. Thompson.
GM says, greetings, Julian. You surviving the house full of children. Oh, lol.
Yeah, I kept calling John Thompson John Thomas by mistake.
Yeah.
Bob says, oh, heck, until the caps lock sticks on an O-ring. No.
Bob says, got the new TF card adapter now. Easier to upload files to 3D printer.
Nice.
Guy says, Bobby, ha ha ha. Sure, it's a sticky caps lock.
Bob's trying to speed type without watching what's on the screen. Dangerous. Well, it did okay that time.
Matt's in. He says, hello to all on panel and hello to everyone in chat. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. And John Thompson says, Robert, amazing the Freudian slips that happen. It is indeed.
And Gary says, you live on the edge, Bobby.
Bob says, so is someone who's a Freudian slipper testing new types of indoor footwear?
Hobby Time says, hi guys. Hi, Hobby
Hi,
Time.
Hobby Time. And
Hey,
Bob
Hobby
says,
Time.
haven't fallen over it yet, Mr. M. Not in a big way, anyway.
Columbus Models.
Hey,
Hey guys, it ain't Friday night without the Friday stream.
Columbus, you're a star. You've sent us some more 3D print files. I haven't looked at them yet, but there were 9.
He's put the pictures on Instagram.
Oh, is he?
Do people want to see them?
Oh,
Yes,
sure do.
please. Yes, please, because I've downloaded them. I've just got to slice them.
Okay.
This is what the lovely Columbus, or Callum, what's John doing?
I don't know. Turn brightness down. Okay, so let's get that to focus. There you go.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
Hey!
That's cool.
The gun barrel,
Yeah.
ammunition
Oh,
boxes,
nice.
grenade boxes, jerry cans, fuel drum, and shells.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Amazing.
Absolute star, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I will get round to
Amazing.
printing all those off and distributing them to the team.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thank you very much, Callum. On with the show.
Is it me? The worst
Yeah.
I find, says Julian, is if I've typed almost perfectly but accidentally hit caps lock, delete the lot, and in normal characters there are loads of typos. Yeah.
Joe says, good morning, afternoon, evening on this fantastic Friday. How you doing, Joe? Good to hear from you, man.
Julian says, afternoon, Mikey, Shelfie McShelfface, and Commander Evans.
Ian says, hello all. I saw no intro or any music, straight into half a sentence. Yeah.
Yes.
Columbus says StreamYard has been talking to CapCut clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe says, they're all trying to become billionaires with trillionaire companies, Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julian says, Gary E, have a chat to Alex Mann. Mann's Models, I guess. He uses DaVinci Resolve, so can probably advise you how the bits you need for editing videos.
Yeah, I know Alex. I'll give him a shout.
I might have a go at that because I was thinking of downloading some of the live streams and taking the audio out and just uploading the audio. Maybe. And breaking it down into like sections. Whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, you sounded so enthusiastic. Yeah, break it down to sections. Yeah,
I don't know if
whatever.
people actually want to listen to it. I don't know. There's a podcast
It's a
type show.
podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
We'll give Al Murray and what's his name a run for their money.
I doubt
Holland,
James Holland.
fellow
Two-
Holland, James Holland.
2 fantastic gentlemen.
it. Yes. Ian says Gary's Scottish accent was better than Edward Woodward's in The Wicker Man.
I'll take that as a victory then.
Julian
Small one.
says you wouldn't have offended the actor who played Scotty anyway, Gary, seeing as he was Canadian and making up the accent himself. He was, and he was wounded on D-Day.
James Doolan. Yeah.
Shot in the
Phil
hand.
says, good day all. Hello, Phil. How you doing,
Phil.
mate?
Hey, Phil.
Andy's Airframe Lab. Hello.
Hello,
So it's
Andy.
great to see you guys.
Andy,
Very welcome.
Very welcome. I think it's the first time we've seen you, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome to the channel, dude.
Welcome to the channel, mate.
I mean, that is assuming you are a dude, obviously. Shouldn't make assumptions these days. John says Star Wars was a Sink the Bismarck. Star Trek 2 Twok was a space version of Moby Dick.
The Wrath of Khan. Tiff says, welcome in, Andy.
There you go.
Phil says, John Thompson.
Jim's in another day, another Imperial thumbs up.
It's whether Ian Ellison
Jim.
remembers to do it.
Yeah.
Drew says, Bob, duct tape may solve your problem, except if your mouse gets taped over the buy button.
Oh, yeah. Didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And Matt says to John Marley, in case you missed it on Discord, found out stencil for Scheme 3 is missing from the kit for the Sea Fury. Julian put a link up for missing page.
Oh, okay. I'll have a look at Discord.
Gary Markham says, Matt, correct. Sea Fury missing a page.
There we go. Columbus Models says, also, Mikey, if any of your community want to buy them and build along with you, they'll get a 50% discount on the full set with the code BEARD.
Thank you, Callum.
That's
awesome,
That's
buddy.
very kind.
Very cool.
Gary will get you one for Christmas, don't worry.
Maybe
mate.
that's Callum at the door now.
I don't even know whose door it was.
No, it's my front door somewhere.
Oh, right. Okay.
Delivering something or other. Which is already this time.
Julian says, a belated evening to our Antipodean friend, a.k.a. John.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste. And Hobby Time says, hi, Jim.
They rang the door again and it went straight through my ear. Right. Exploring Unseen. Hey, guys. How is everyone doing?
GM says, Mr. Evans, yeah, the Cat and Crad buyer was told what we thought of it, but he still wanted it. An icon of history or something.
Patrick Clark says, a very good evening to all. Hello, Patrick.
Hello,
It's another
Patrick.
new one.
Another new member, I believe.
Yeah.
Welcome. And John says, would be funny if they had a metric march instead of an imperial march.
Yeah.
Callum, can you post a link to your Cults 3D page in Discord, please, buddy?
10 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Turn that off. There we go.
Right. So, how far? I mean, obviously, we know Waitrose has finished his Sea Fury because he's just a beast. But how far have you two got with it?
Well, as I said earlier, I've got the first coat of the Sky Grey on. It's going to need another one. I got it primed this morning. I got that on, and then it's got too hot for spraying. So until tomorrow morning, that's as far as that's going to go. But I am now working on some dangly bits for the wings.
Oh, yeah. I need to get the kit down, don't I? That'd be helpful.
All right. So I'm up to putting on the decals, which I need to do because I'm doing the wing up version. I need to get certainly the ones on the upper wing done before I sort of carry on with any of it or whatever. So today's going to be a Dirkling day. After that, after the Dirkles are done, it's pretty much put on the undercarriage. And the prop is done as well. That's sort of it because I'm not going for any wing stores on mine. So yeah, just I guess final assembly after Dirkles.
Yeah. Patrick says, thank you. I normally only get to see the replay. Oh, we're glad to have you with us.
Oh, well, at least you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Marley, I have painted mine.
Oh, that's looking good.
Nyong.
Which way is that? Oh, there.
And I
Very
put
nice.
them up.
Oh, okay. Can you, bring it closer to the camera. I'd like to see how those Rato things look.
How close do you want it?
Oh, that'll do. That'll do. Just rotate. Oh yeah, that looks like they fit rather well.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're booed there.
Cool.
So
I would put them backwards if I did it.
Well, yeah, we know. In fact,
Yeah.
even my daughter, who only watches like a minute or two at a time, knows that you're the one who puts things on backwards.
But he does it so well.
He does.
So
He
well.
does it with
So
style.
straight. With panache.
Yes. With his dicky dicker.
Yeah.
But because I finished mine some time ago, thinking that I needed to hurry up so that when I went away, you guys could catch up or overtake me and whatever. But it didn't happen that way.
You
So
overestimate us, sir.
Plenty of sea fury. No, I don't mean that, because you're all doing much more complicated ones than I did. So I'm going to use the time to continue building my VMT, my Miasashov, which, when it's complete, the external stores area will be, of course, covered in a Hobnobs wrapper for
wonderful.
the
I know. I was going to ask where the batteries went.
Telford build. Yeah, that's going to be for the Telford Hobnob build.
That's a
you know what,
very
I haven't
interesting thing.
Thought.
Yes, it was used to support the Energia shuttle program they used to have. So it could carry the external fuel tanks, or it could carry storage, the payloads, transport the payloads to the launch site and things like that. So there's all sorts of things that they could be used for.
Tiff said that she loves the Herbie pick on your avatar there, Patrick.
Yeah.
Julian says Shelfie is working on his dangly bits. Yes, folks, we found the level.
And it's always Julian.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's always about 3.5 foot.
Yeah. Well, not with those goggles he's got on. John says it is funny because you need to because of 4 things going on.
Yeah.
Lol. And GM says, Mikey, there are problems in transmission with stream data. I'm getting your stream via SBS in Sydney. Directed from the UK is garbled with dropouts.
Weird. I blame Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Patrick says, thanks, Tiff, for the comment about Herbie. Lovely. And Kevin Trainer's in saying, good day, everyone.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
And Ian says, I need to gloss coat mine for Dirkles. Oh, and I forgot to spray the spinner. It's too hot in the garage, so I'm just chilling today.
Fair enough. I forgot to spray my spinner as well.
Oh, and any excuse to eat a packet of hobnobs will go in one go, Waitrose?
In fact, probably they were. That was a pre-holiday and Durham visit. Now we're being very sensible.
The other day at one of our face-to-face sessions, one of the assembled masses brought in a packet of Tim Tams, and myself and Steve Paul between us managed to eat them all.
Why does that not surprise me?
I then sat in a diabetic coma for the next 2 days.
Dear me.
Alrighty, 103, 104.
And on next week's episode, we remove Gary's legs.
We pretty much did the same thing on Tuesday with a packet of chocolate digestives. Just going to mute while Benji has a fight.
Yeah. Julian says, the Discord link for the missing Sea Fury page. There we go. And Tiff says, speaking of spraying, I need to prime something else to paint. Not sure what to do, though. Ooh, good question. What are the options, modders? Give us some options. We'll help you decide. It's all very quiet when Gary Morris goes off on mute. Right. So, how did your excursion go, Gary?
My excursion went extremely well, thank you. The train was very nice, surprisingly, and on time, and very good. It's crowded, but we were fine. We got up there on time, where the hotel was perfectly lovely. Premier Inn. Durham itself is exceedingly beautiful and very easy to get around. It's quite hilly, but very, very beautiful, and everything's sort of all in one area, so it's really good. yeah, and then on Tuesday was my granddaughter's graduation ceremony, which was in the cathedral, which was exceptionally wonderful. Felt all sorts of ancient and stuff, which is odd because Durham University is only a couple of 100 years old itself, but it feels like it should be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
It's funny, they give you a brochure sort of thing, sort of running order, and what to expect and all this sort of thing. And inside the back page, there's the decoding of all the different hoods that the graduates wear. So, like the Bachelor of Arts, it has just a white fur-trimmed hood, black hood. The Bachelors of Science have the same, but the hood's like a lilac colour. And then there's ones that have got different amounts of red, depending on whether they're masters or not. And then doctorate are like these beautiful red robes with this amazing hat type thing for the guys that got doctorates.
And do you have a Gryffindor and Hufflepuff and all that?
No, but they do have their houses. Obviously, they have what is it? They have like Collingwood College, which is where Alexia was. I don't know which Collingwood it was, to be honest.
I wonder if it's the Admiral.
And it could be.
Probably.
And then there's was it St Hilda and St Bede's Society, and there's all sort of weird names. It's not like just this college, that college, that. They've got sort of weird names as well, which adds to the sort of ancient feel. It was just very lovely, and we had photos. We all took photos outside on the grass outside the cathedral. It's a beautiful day as well. So it's sunny, but it wasn't like stupid Scorchio like it was today. It was I don't know, about 22, 23 degrees, so quite pleasant and nice little breeze. Plenty of Pims beforehand, and then afterwards it was basically, well, the tradition is that graduates and their parents all go to the pub. So we all went to the pub until the evening, 8 o'clock, went for a fantastic meal. Had the most delicious beef Wellington, fortunately with someone who knew how to pick mushrooms. And it was delightful.
How un-Australian.
Absolutely delightful. Yeah. It was all and some lovely wine and da da da. And then following day we all came home.
Granddaughter.
Thank you. It was
who was you was explaining before we went live, has shown an amazing work ethic.
Completely. I mean, she always has at school. Well, she was head girl at her school as well, which is, she's quite an achiever. But she's an absolutely lovely person with it, which is a nice combination to have. Someone who's obviously going to go very far in the world, but is going to go very far in the world not by stamping on other people, by actually just doing a lot of hard work and making efforts. So yeah, whatever she's had in life, she's had a lot of opportunities in life, courtesy of her parents, who were in banking and things like that, whatever.
Would you believe?
But she's taken those. She's taken those opportunities. What's that, mate?
I'll put this decal on backwards.
Oh, you absolute dingo!
So that's. I'm looking at the panel lining because it's all very blue. Very blue.
Drongo.
So then I went to the other page where I could see the panel lines for the correct placement, and I realised that I'm looking at the bottom of the wing, not the top. So instead of being there, it needs to be outboard. So I've put the decal on backwards.
Don't you need to take it off as quick as possible, John, not sit there explaining it?
That's why I interrupted. I'm very sorry, Gary.
It's funny because he's Australian.
Yes. And it's funny because he's done it again.
Unbelievable.
I think this is the most I've seen you laugh, Gary, since we had that episode on the live stream where we decided that Nick was wearing fishnet stockings and fireman's wellies.
Oh, that just wasn't funny. That was nervous laughter. That was that sort of.
Oh my God, my livelihood's about to go down the pan sort of laughter.
It was that sort of horrendous moment laughter. But this is just genuinely very funny. And so, John.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
We do love you, John. We do.
So that's where it goes.
Oh, you're such a good lad, John.
There we go.
Yeah, so anyway, that was it. It's all very lovely and all very good, and she deserves everything she's got, and now she's working really, really hard before she has 18 months off and then starts to go to work. And she's got a job to go to as well, which is really good.
Oh, yay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have an anniversary today.
You do.
You do. Happy anniversary, mate.
Yes, I meant to say. Congratulations.
So today marks 30 years since I enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force. And yeah, how about that?
Well, we came to a conclusion to do with you in the Air Force before, me and Gary.
Be kind.
That British F-35 that was stranded in India, and they've had to strip it down and put it on an A400 because they couldn't fix it. We've decided that the reason they couldn't fix it is because you weren't there.
No, I think the reason it's still repairable is I wasn't there.
It's not repairable at the minute; it's in bits.
Yeah, I'd be curious as to what went wrong with it, because it should be able to fix anything anywhere.
By the sound of it, they are as well.
Yeah, but there are some issues, I'd imagine.
Yes.
And they're doing the best they can, I'm sure.
Yes. Anyway, we need to catch up with chat. Joe says, battling Benji.
Yes. He's my next door neighbours have been away on holiday for this week, and it's been lovely and quiet because they've got 2 dogs and he doesn't get on with one of them. But they've come back this morning.
Yay. Bob says, Tiff may have an extra option soon. Ooh. John says, not to sound like the police, but what happened to the mosquito that came to the surface from the bottom of the dark Scottish lake? That is in a museum in Scotland. Because Penny Blake went to visit it the other week. And she put pictures up in Discord. Paul Tanker says, good day all. Daff is okay, about to make her a cuppa soon. Oh, nice. Glad to hear she's getting better.
It's all right, because she was a bit crook yesterday, wasn't she?
Yeah. Julie says, you felt ancient, Gary? Oh, the cathedral did. Gotcha. Tiff says, there's a big boy, 2 Nissan GTRs, 2 Deltics, Volkswagen Beetle, Revel Jaguar E-Type Matchbox, Victor, Model T Ambulance, Rebel, HMS Victory, and Mayflower, and a Titanic. Okay, let's get the votes in.
What she's got to build next?
Yep, if you go back to that list, modders. Thank you. So we've got the big boy locomotive, 2 Nissan GTRs, 2 Deltic locomotives, VW Beetle, Revel Jaguar E-Type, Matchbox Victor, Model T Ambulance, and Revel HMS Victory, and Mayflower, and a Titanic.
Well, you know where my vote's going to go.
Yeah, it is going to go for the Victor. What do you reckon, Wait Rose?
If I'm making any of those for myself, I'd say Victor, because I like a Victor.
Okay. And John?
Well, I think there is talk of possibly doing a V-bomber build at some point in the future, so I'd avoid the Victor for now.
That's a good point.
I would choose the HMS Victory because I love it, but it's I don't know. I don't know the Revel kit. But lots of time in that one in painting the hull.
No. Not only is it a floaty thing with rigging, it's a Revel floaty thing with rigging.
I would say start the Model T Ambulance next Tuesday, because me and John will be starting the World War I Omnibus next Tuesday.
There you go. I would have said, if you're not going to do the Victor, the Model T Ambulance is a lovely build.
Yeah. Because then you can build along with us. You're just doing a different vehicle from the same era.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, which Model T ambulance is it? The ICM one?
Yeah. It's the one Nick sent her.
Oh, that's... Oh, brilliant. That's the one I... Yeah, it's the one I did when you guys were doing... I did one as well.
Yeah.
And when you were doing the Model T build recently, didn't you? It's lovely, that.
Yeah, it's a lovely kit.
It is a nice kit.
It is.
It is a nice kit.
Next. Get your votes in, people. Julian says, glad to hear it, Paul. Oh, yeah, are you back from the door modders, or do you need me to carry on? Tiff says, yes, Bob. My batch shall be arriving today, according to tracking.
Oh, you mean a bat?
Yeah.
Not
Not
a-
baseball bat. Yeah, all rounders bat, or cricket bat.
Or a. We can't do
A
that.
wiffle bat.
Do you mind?
What the
Tiff
was
says, what restaurant did you go to for food, Gary?
We went to the Cellar Door, it was called. You have to go down a load of steps to get to it, but it was very tasty, very nice.
So did you actually
Wasn't a
sell
French
it?
restaurant. It's Cellar Door.
The Cellar Door.
Nice.
Yeah.
When we lived in Cyprus, we went out for one of the nicest meals I ever had in a restaurant that was in a cave.
Oh.
It was really, really nice and really had a really nice ambience about it. And the food was amazing. Jim says, greetings, Hobby Time, Julian, and to all of the usual suspects in chat.
Oh, wow, we've got 31 people watching. Don't forget to lube and
wonderful.
subscribe.
Yeah, lube up.
Yeah, don't forget to lube up like Gary.
Yeah.
Bob says, hopefully the support structure prevented damage to the Tiff bat. Hopefully.
Should do.
Yeah. The
And
size
Graham Bulls in says, good afternoon all. Good afternoon, Graham.
Hello, Graham.
My mother's maiden name is Bull. It is.
I'll read the next one.
My uncle was, rather my auntie, decided that if she had her first child was a girl, she was going to call it Crystal. Until my uncle pointed out what that would make the child's name.
Crystal Ball.
Yeah. He wasn't impressed.
GM says, we don't know this John Marley person. Yes.
Oh, trust me. This is the one we know. We know him well. Julie says, PMSL. What's the Australian for Muppet? My guess is John. Ooh, that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Both barrels.
Yeah.
The Major's in. Steve Paul. Good afternoon, guys. Really enjoying the build and the banter. Yes, it was me and Steve who got through a best part of a packet of Tim Tams and a packet of chocolate digestives the other way.
It doesn't surprise me. You're not one for
strange.
looking after your diabetes, are you, Gary?
I say, you can be thin and miserable or fat and happy.
Yeah, but I'd rather still be the same height I was, and not two legs short, sort of thing. I'm quite attached to my legs, funnily enough.
Yeah, but if I don't have legs, I don't have to walk the dog.
No, she'll make you do it in a wheelchair and have Benji pull you around, like Father
God.
Christmas.
No thanks. Julian says, good morning, Jim. And Ian Ellison says, big boy to catch up. Oh, I see it says Tiff to do the big boy to catch up. Tiff says, I think I need to find decals for the Victor, though. Yeah, okay. In that case, go with Model T. Joe says one of the Nissans. Julian says Model T ambulance. Tiff. And Tiff says, be right back door. Tiff's now back from the door, says it has just arrived. She is.
I'd be surprised if the Victory has decals.
The Victor.
The Victor, not the Victory.
The Victor. Sorry, the Victor. Yes.
You cloth-eared Australian koala.
Sorry,
Drongo.
I was trying to be polite.
Patrick Clark says, victory for me. Yes, victory for Patrick. Oh, sorry.
Hurrah.
Oh.
Hurrah and huzzah.
I apologise if I ruin this. John Knopfel says, hi all.
That sounds like the guitarist, doesn't it? From Dire Straits.
Mark Knopfler.
Knopfler. Yeah. John Thompson says, England expects each man to do their duty.
Oh, yes.
Not on a Saturday and a Sunday because it's a weekend.
Yes, the RAF don't work weekends or Wednesday afternoons.
So
Sports
here's a
set.
bit of trivia.
You
The
put that on
Australian-
upside down as well.
So the Australian roundel, right? The kangaroo. This is where it comes from. The Australian penny.
I thought it was
didn't know
from
that.
just Australian
But
kangaroo.
it's the other way round.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, for God's sake!
If you just,
Is that all right?
all right. So you put the other one on the wrong way round.
No. It's. I'm just pointing out. No, I've got.
It is you.
Oh, John, dearie me.
You have.
I've got the anus to the rear. That's correct. Most animals do have their anus to the rear.
Okay,
That's correct.
all right. I'm just, I know you have a history of.
A very recent history, might we add?
Next. Julian says, talking of bats, did I post on a Discord link to the blog about my first encounter with a cricket bat, age 2?
I don't know. Is the answer.
I don't know. I don't recall seeing that. Paul said Gary was in said cathedral back in 2014. Brilliant place.
I was
It
I
is.
was there in probably 10 years ago now. It's I love Durham. I think it's a beautiful place. It really is. Like it's the first cathedral that we climbed up to the roof, and the view is just stunning.
Protested.
Oh, do they let you do that?
They do. I didn't
No.
mention it before you went because
No.
they probably wouldn't do it during the ceremony.
No, it's just that they were saying maybe it's on the day of the ceremony, but I think on the day of the ceremony, or at some point, it's only graduates of the university who are allowed to do it, to climb up
Oh.
there. So maybe it's on the day to celebrate.
Yeah.
They're allowed to go up there, and the rest of the time anyone can do it, or something like that.
Because it was fantastic. It was, as I say, as a family,
Excellent.
had the kids with us, and my daughter on the way up is saying, she's touching all the stones, saying, "I love how they make it look old." That's the way it is old, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Where am I? So at the top of the wing. So let's do a little bit of Navy 106. That one.
Steve Paul says, seriously, guys, the victory would be a great choice despite Gary M's reluctance.
And you know why, Steve?
There's a reason why it's called Shelfie McShelfface. Jim says, on a personal note, wishing my sister Janine a happy birthday today. Thanks for being such a great
Happy
sister.
birthday, Janine.
Yeah. Wouldn't
Yeah,
have
happy
made it
birthday.
this far without you. Lovely.
Happy birthday, Janine.
I was very...
Well, I'm fighting off a cold, so I hear myself sounding a little bit more gravelly than I usually do. Oh, that's weird.
Ooh, that was weird.
My voice is like a boomerang.
Yes. All I could hear was...
You're still a dick.
At least I've got one. Matt says, panel, why are the wing decals for the Royal Australian Air Force orientated that way? John?
Yes.
John, just looking at that picture where you've lined up the wing on the bot, yes.
It's backwards.
Isn't the roundel supposed to be at the front of the wing, not at the back?
So the wing goes that way.
Ah, there we go.
Cripes. So
It
that's
still
the
looks
bottom of the
wrong way
wing.
round.
No, I've got it the wrong way round because I'm about to put the Navy Dirkle on it, and I want to have it lined up.
The one that
So,
says
yeah,
Ivan.
Ivan.
Well, there's this episode of Simpsons, wasn't it, where they did a Navy recruiting video, and it was a music song, and all they did is change join the Navy backwards. So it's Ivan et Niage. Joe says, happy birthday, Jim's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaronville says, hello all. Just now.
Aaronville, hello mate, how are you?
Hi, mate.
Remind me that versions, paint, and decals you are making of each Sea Fury. Oh, remind me of what versions, paint, and decals you are making of each Sea Fury are you all doing? So, Waitrose did the lovely red one, which he will get for us now in his tactical shorts. Mark's safe.
Fresh off the 5 Mile of Death.
Yeah.
Fresh
There you
off the back of a quartermaster's lorry.
Yeah.
Good man.
Okay.
And
Let's zoom in on Waitrose. There we go. Damn it. There you go. And which one are you doing, John? It looks good, that.
You can see it. So
it's the blue one.
I'm doing the cover art.
Arangel wants to see what you're doing.
You can see.
You can see.
There you go.
The one that's on the.
Focus.
Oh, okay. Let me. How's that?
There you go.
Right. Yeah. I'm doing the box art, which is be a bit large, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lovely.
Lovely boy, lovely boy.
All the way back to that. Show 'em off. Show 'em off.
I'm doing that one, but with the wings folded up.
And I'm doing the same one with the wings down. So we've all done a different version one way or another.
Jim says, thank you, Joe. John, did you just fart?
No, I said yeah.
All right.
It's going to be the world's strangest fart if that was the noise. Damn. Yeah. That's going to be really, really. What have you been eating?
What is going on with this Durkle? I've already cleft it in twain. I have cleft it in twain. I'm having trouble getting my decals to slide, which is uncharacteristically not like
John. Shut the fuck up.
Righto, shutting up.
Paul says, my mum lost her legs some 20 years ago. What are you joking?
Sorry to hear that, mate.
See, that'll be you in a few years, Gary, if you don't start
Yes,
looking at
right.
yourself. Marion, you don't want Marion pushing you around for the rest of your life.
This is not a health channel. Come on.
No, but it is a Gary get your shit together channel. John says, that was the message in the Revel victory. Yeah.
Yes.
Steve Paul says, Gary M. finally broke the back of the model repairs, just a few parts left to source and scratch build. Nice.
Yeah. I said the other day, didn't I, that we'd been gifted some models that someone had built and then passed away, and they just needed a bit of repair because the family had just thrown them into a box.
Yeah.
Into several boxes. And I have got 2 completed. The German tri-wing, three wing thing.
The triple decker.
Yeah, the triple decker, and a Thunderbolt. They're done, and I've got several others in a box and about parts left over that I've got to repair. And then when we meet up on Tuesday of next week, we're going to have a spares swap, see if we can find any of the rest of the stuff, because it's all there. And the level of work that the guy did on these is amazing, and it would be such a shame for them to be binned.
Yeah. Arville says, good idea. Maybe all you do a HMS Victory group build one day. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'll be walking my goldfish that day.
Julian says, John, apparently Nelson said confers, but there was no flag for confers, so it was changed to expect.
That's right.
Yes. John says, model was tough, Julian. Bad fits to be worked around. Or worked out. Yes.
Right.
Tiff says, idiot tried to squeeze the parcel through the letterbox. The bat's nose is looking a little funny. I shall try to fix it. John says, this was the small victory. Hey, any victory is a good victory. Better than a defeat. Tiff says, yes, you can climb up. I think you have to pay to climb, and it gets very narrow the closer to the top you get. What?
Mm.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah,
It's free to come back down again.
Yeah.
Julian's put the link in for his first encounter with the cricket bat, age 2. There we go. GM says there is a full moon in the sky, a similar full moon on Mr. Morris's screen. Oh no, it's not. It's the top of his head. Camera angle change.
We're just saying there is actual hair there. Look.
Where? Just looks like shininess to me. It was blinding the glare then.
But he does make a very good point that my camera should be not there. No, I changed it, didn't I, this morning? Oh, it's all gone wrong.
Put it back to the other one. And then
yes, I'm doing it.
You're overcomplicating things, man. Anvil says, wow, very nice. Stunning all, great versions. You're all so skilled. No.
No,
sir.
It's just very good camera work.
And a good model.
An AI.
Yeah. We're not really here. GM says, Mr. Morris, please change the camera angle. The top of your head is matching the full moon outside.
I've changed it now. God,
Arville says, my sister said, why do you do this? I say, it's the journey with satisfactory destination that counts. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So we've still got 27 people watching. That's pretty cool. Is there anyone new to the channel watching? If so, don't be afraid to say hello. The guys don't bite. But they may suck your blood.
What? Love to count.
John says, hello. John says, anybody remember the plane at the end of Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome? No, it was a manufactured plane. Ooh.
Yes, I do. It was a crop duster.
I don't remember because it only came out like when I was very small.
And I've never watched any of the Mad Max films.
You just don't like
right, Mikey, because you can't watch a movie that's made like before you, can you? Like,
I watch a lot of war
films.
films.
Never heard of it.
I watch a lot of war films, but stuff like that I'd only watch if it happened to be on telly. And I don't watch the telly anymore, so it's not really an issue.
Oh, fair enough.
It's not really the sort of thing that interests me. Luke Dibbin says he's new to the channel. Welcome, Luke.
Hello, Luke.
From
Welcome.
memory, I think it's one of those.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my
think
God.
it was
What a
one of
weird-looking plane.
So that's a Transavia PL12 300T Skyfarmer.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I haven't Googled. I Googled Australian crop duster rather than Mad Max.
John says, welcome, Luke.
Yeah, welcome, mate.
Yeah. I think I might have seen it like when I was small. My stepdad had it on the telly or something, but I just got bored with it. John says, I did love Tina Turner. Oh, I'm sure she loved you too, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly more than Ike.
Oh, yes. Well, bit of an arsehole by all accounts.
Yeah.
Shadow of a doubt.
Tiff says, another shock to Mike's system. I've watched all the Mad Max films. Bloody hell.
Goodness gracious.
Columbus says, the Mad Max aircraft was the PL-12 air truck. We have one in the local aircraft museum here in Auckland.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
There we go. There we have it.
So what did that look like, John? Is that the one you showed us?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to go back.
Ray's in. He says, good day, folks. Hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray. Yeah, we're all
Hello,
good,
Ray.
mate.
Yes, it is. It's a PL12 air truck.
Yeah. Tell you what I was watching last night, which is an old film. The Sea Shall Not Have Them.
The sea shall not have them.
It was a good film. Yep. We are all doing well, Ray. Thank you.
I was watching Olivia Benson last night.
What you get up to outside in those bushes is up to you, but you shouldn't tell everyone because the police do listen sometimes.
Despite the restraining order.
Yes. It's all right. The hedge was 30 feet away. he measured it from the window. With a laser pointer, obviously. He didn't go up to the window that measure because that would breach the order.
Jim says, oh, go on.
No, go on.
Jim says, I am new to the chat. I stepped away for a few minutes. Now I'm back. So that's new to the chat.
Hey.
Yes, Jim. More coffee, Jim. Go on. And Ray says, and yes, John, you are correct about the crop dusters. Luke says, Mad Max 1, 2, and Fury Road are the best. Sorry, John.
So Bruce Spence, who's the guy who's the aviator in Mad Max, he's also that guy in Star Wars, the mouth of Sauron, and he's in
Shark's Tale.
Saving Nemo. Finding Nemo. He's he's one of with Eric Bana and Barry Humphries.
There you go.
So yeah, he's a New Zealand actor.
Paul says, my son-in-law has just accepted an invite from the Jordanian government to do a dig near Jerash in January next year. He was there some 15 years ago, and he was an archaeologist with UWA.
Nice.
University of Western Australia. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll find something interesting.
Well, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
John says the guy that played Bennett in Commando was in Weird Science as well as Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
See, I know that one. I know Commando. Just because it's so bloody ridiculous.
Is that the Arnie film where he hangs off of the nose wheel of a...
Yeah. It's the one where he fires a nuclear warhead launcher at a building and a load of cardboard cutouts fall over around it.
Maybe GM can answer me a question I have. So this is showing the position light under the starboard wing as I don't know if it's silver or white or whatever. Maybe it's white because they look white on these pages, but the decal itself is clear. I don't know whether that would be, say, blue in this, or whether I should paint where it goes, say, silver or white or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you assist, Gary? I don't know if you would know, but you'd have more of a clue than I would, to be sure.
My God, we found something that John Marley doesn't know about aircraft.
Yeah. I've never said I know everything.
Interesting one, that. Jim says, after eating baked beans, I turn into a crop duster. I'll get my coat.
That's funny.
And Julian says, yep, checked online, and in Thunderdome was a Transavia PL-12. And Jim says that Mad Max aviator needs some new teeth. Luke says, I once walked past Bruce Spence when he was leaving the bottle shop at 11 a.m. Goon bag in hand like a champ.
Wonderful to hear.
And Aaronville says, hey, Gary Evans, just wondering, what are you building now? Are you building some of those models you open the box reviews? Also, your outhouse building looks great to work in. I love my model outhouse. Outhouse?
So it was muted for a while I was spraying some stuff. I have actually built a thing that I did a box review of, the Spitfire, and that was published today. I started working on the UMA hobby or UMA models Harrier yesterday. Built the ejection seat yesterday. And yes, there are some more things that are in production at the moment. I'm almost finished the Halifax, actually, which is even better. The Matchbox Challenge Halifax, which is good because another Matchbox Challenge kit arrived today.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So I'm just like 4 or 5 of those behind the schedule at the moment. So after the Halifax is finished, I've got the Sea Venom, which is like 1/32 and huge. Well, I have done the engine for that, and I'm really, really pleased with the engine. That has come out really rather beautifully, I think.
Oh,
It's
that's
a de
nice.
Havilland engine.
Delicious.
So that's all very good. And a huge thank you to Mr. Marley for sending me some reference photos of it from the museum in Australia. So that's cool. So I've got to do the rest of that. And then there are some other ones that I haven't actually published the reveal videos of yet. I think there's a few sort of simpler builds coming up after that to catch up with anyway. So yeah. I am. Thank you.
Timmy's arrived. He says, "Good day, folks. In Adelaide today, then driving to Melbourne and then north to the sunny coast. So going to be a bit hit and miss this week. No problems, Timmy."
Say hi to Margot for me. Well, she wouldn't understand anyway.
And then John says, "Then Arnold falls into a swamp without breaking legs." Well, he's Arnold, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dorcosaurus, is it time for us to go? Dorcosaurus is in. Good morning, afternoon, peoples. Hope everyone is doing well today. Hi, Dorcosaurus.
Hey, dude.
Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Hoi, 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 hoi.
Paul says he found a Greek temple with undamaged statues, etc.
Wow.
Last time he was there. That's amazing. And John says Bennett was played by Vernon Wells. And Julian says, my brother's doctorate was sponsored by UTS, the University of Technology, Sydney. I think they wanted him to move there after he graduated. And Matt says to John, on stencil page, it is Decal 44 and 45.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. But the decals are clear?
I would think you've got to paint white and then put the decal over the white.
Right.
Well,
everything. Bob says Bruce Spence was good in Legend of the Seeker, another film I haven't seen. And John says, if you have an outhouse to work in, just is anybody privy to what you are doing, lol? And Graham says, John, yes, sure, these are landing lights, but altered to be ident lights. One is a silver backed reflector landing light, the other two globe intent light. I have seen the other combinations with these.
Okay.
Well, that makes it as clear as mud then, John, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'll
basically, it sounds to me like you can do what you want because
yeah, I'll paint them silver before I put them down. Yeah.
Cool. Jim says to Gary Evans, any plans on building an armor model or any other types of military vehicles?
Oh, yes.
Starting.
I will be building an armor model soon. Yeah. But there may well be some other ones I'll be working on soon. Yeah. But yes, I will be doing so. I need to do some different things other than regular. But then the thing is, you're got to watch them. Okay, I can make these things, I can do these things, but you all have got to watch them because if you'll watch them, I get paid by Mr. YouTube, and then I can do more of them. Whereas at the moment, you all are watching mainly airplanes. So
yeah,
I'll do what I can. I will do what I can. I will. I'm not just going to make things that are going to make money. Obviously, I'm going to still do things that I think, yeah, that'd be cool to build, or that'd be interesting to build, or that's got a good reason to build it. I'll still do those, but most of the time, sadly, it's got to be what I think will be seen and watched by people.
Cool. Yeah. Nathan Big Nate Norman says Bennett was in Road Warrior, not Beyond Thunderdome, and was also the main villain in Power Rangers Time Force. And welcome to the channel, Nathan.
Power Rangers.
Yeah. Hello, Nathan.
Tiff says 34 in Mikey. There was 37 in before. That was 1 point.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gone down to 31 now. It's because I started talking. John says, Gary Evans, what was your favourite British tank of World War II? Matilda, Centurion, or Churchill?
Ooh.
Oh, that's difficult. British tank. I
Those
will
Centurions in World War II.
probably go with a Churchill.
Yeah, they had
Especially
Centurion
some of the
right at
stranger sort of conversions of them.
Yeah, a lot of the Churchills they did fascines and all sorts of things on them, didn't they? I've done a Churchill.
AVRE conversions and stuff. But I don't know, the Churchill just to me looks a little bit more business-like, let's say.
I've
They
got
had a Cromwell as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a Matilda down there.
My favourite of all was definitely a Chieftain, because that's my era. Chieftains and Scorpions. Actually, no, I've got a Scorpion. I've got an AFV Club Scorpion. Maybe I'll build that soon. That would be a nice thing to build. And I've got the metal replacement tracks for it as well.
Do you know what? I've been looking for them for the Jag Panther, and then I realised the top of the tracks and most of the wheels are covered by side plates, so there's not much point.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to try and get some for when I do my Tiger.
Yeah.
Julian says, Bob, Legend of the Seeker, is that a film or the TV series of the same name? The TV series was cancelled after 2 series. There we go.
There is my attempt at a Matilda.
There we go. John did a Matilda too.
He would have to, wouldn't he? He's Australian.
Yeah.
I enjoyed building that.
I've got a Grant tank to do at some point.
I've always fancied doing a Grant or a Lee.
We can do one at some point. We need to have a meeting about future builds anyway. So
a meeting?
Yeah. A staff meeting.
Oh my God.
Meeting. Yeah. Well, I've got a Grant to do. We could do grants at some point because they're a pretty cool looking tank.
Happy to do a grant.
Jim says, I watch you regularly, Mr. Evans. I'm very good you are. Hurrah.
Thank you so much, Jim. You're very
Good
kind.
job you got the frosted glass in your bathroom, isn't it, John? Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday mornings isn't Monday mornings without watching a bit of Gary's stuff. Monday Matters.
And there is a small thing of him being a Bears fan as well. So, us Bears fans stick together through adversity.
Bob says, Julian, the TV series New Zealand filmed.
Tiff says, don't forget to hit that like button, folks, if you enjoy what the guys are doing. We stream 4 days a week and with various different builds.
GM says, my other kit has 2 landing lights. The Royal Australian Navy Museum CPU's 1 landing light, 1 identification light. Nothing confusing there.
I love the fact that you two keep fighting over who's going to do the comments.
Well, we're trying to assist.
Well, you're trying to do some paint. Tiff says, don't need to know where your Matilda is, Gary. Oh. And John says, what did you think of the Cromwell?
Well, he didn't want to be king.
Yeah. I don't really know much about the Cromwell. I haven't built one of them, so I don't know. Big Mate says, does the Matilda waltz? Well, only when it's near a billabong.
The bow wow tree.
Aaronville says, when you do group armor or some future builds, maybe display them on vignettes.
That's what we're going to do.
I got a new method of doing designing my dioramas because I don't have any imagination. I use something called ChatGPT and it tells me what to do.
Oh,
yeah.
Literally, I was saying to Mikey, yesterday and today, I asked it to give me ideas for a diorama for the F-35 that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let me just zoom out. And it gave me 5 pages. The concept. It gave me 5 options, and then I asked it to go delve deeper into one. And it gave me a diorama concept, pre-dawn readiness, Negev Air Force Base, and it's given me 5 pages of ideas, and even where I can get the extra parts for it, and the prices.
Huh.
It really is amazing what it did. Well, that's easy. That makes it easy for me.
Yeah. And I've already come up with a diorama idea for my Jagdpanther, but there's only 2 people on this channel that know it. One is Gary Morris and one is Callum. And
Yeah, I've got the diorama for the Jagdpanther planned.
Yeah.
And I've also got the diorama planned for the Jeep.
Yeah. I haven't thought one for the Jeep.
Okay, so Jagdpanther is on a diorama now. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be, Gary.
Do you know what?
Alrighty. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I might do the Jeep on a vignette like the Model T. That came out really nice, and it looks really nice on my window. Yeah. The Jagdpanther is a very big model tank. Joe says, "Da bears."
Bears.
John says, "Nathan, Waltzing Matilda is a good song." It is.
Oh, it's a bloody good song.
Ironville says, "I watch Gary's stuff regularly and enjoy your live streams. Great company with great modelling. Brilliant. Now that I'm self-retired, I have more time and space now." Yeah.
Excellent. And a good moderator as well.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I do my best. Ironville says,
very good.
It's even more fun when I've had a drink. Ironville says, "Interesting to use ChatGPT to suggest dioramas." Yeah, it tells you what kits you'd need to build it and everything. It's really good. John says, "Slim Dusty Sings, my favourite version." And Julian is a Vignette, a female Vinnie Jones. Ha ha ha. John says, "Amazed how similar the Panther and Tiger 2, the King Tiger kits were. Built both Tamiya kits." There we go. John gives you his competition for you, Gary, in terms of height.
So yeah,
John's 6'9".
6'9".
Yeah.
Marley John. Or
No,
John?
No, sir.
Tom Thompson.
Oh, John, 6'9". Damn, that's big. That's bigger than Richard Osman, isn't it?
No idea.
He's about 6'7", I think. Yeah.
Cool. Malcolm's 6'7", isn't he?
6'9". Jesus.
So I'm just waiting for a decal in the water, but I'm thinking for the Jagdpanther diorama to use these guys, cleaning out the barrel. The only thing is I haven't committed to it yet because I don't know if the Jagdpanther barrel depresses enough for this to work. So I shall see once it's assembled.
It does depress quite a bit. But what you could do is just build a platform as if they're in a workshop.
Yeah.
Or made out of shell boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anyone printing some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julian says, "I used to follow Gridiron, American football, mainly the Chicago Bears when the Fridge played for them. I was 16, so a couple of years ago. Just a couple."
William the Fridge Perry. What a player. He was so funny. Massive. I mean, the guy was enormous, but he could run like sprint. The first sort of they do sprint tests, and they said the first sort of 10, 15 yards, he was pretty much as fast as anyone else, which is impressive, seeing as he was like 350 pounds or something. But as a defensive player, he was brilliant because he could just sort of stand there and people bounce off of him. But he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, 85 Super Bowl over the Patriots. So yeah, great player.
One of my funniest times playing rugby in school was there's this lad, we called him Gerbil because he was one of the smaller ones in the year. And I was running up the right wing with the ball under my arm, and he came. I saw him out the corner of my eye come running at me from the side. So as he got close, I just got my arm out and just put my hand on his head and shoved it backwards, and he just fell on his ass and just skidded across the grass. I carried on running, laughing. He just sort of like bounced off me and just went skidding. John says, "Mikey, duck through every door here." Yeah. Imagine that's noisy. Jim says he's laughing at Julian.
Probably about the Bears.
He is.
The fridge.
Tiff says, "Ooh, my cousin Luke has you beat. He's 7'2". I feel so small next to him."
Jesus.
7'2".
Eyes are blue.
John says, "Feel bad for people. Feel bad for people behind me in the car. Maybe I should rip out the front seats." like high tower.
High tower.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where, I was trying to think, what film did I see where they ripped the front seats out? High Tower, wasn't it? Yeah.
Police Academy. Jim says, William Perry could have had a better career had he managed his weight.
Yeah. He just let it get more and more and more and more rather than actually looking after it. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean, Joe.
Mikey the Fridge Connolly. More like a cool box.
Yeah, I'm only little. I'm only 5'11".
Julian says the tallest guy I ever worked with was 6'11.5". As I'm 4'8", I had said to him that ½ inch must make all the difference. Mind you, he just smacked his head on the top of the doorway. Wow.
Okay.
GM says a Korean friend of mine, ex-basketball player, is 7 foot tall, 7'4" tall. The shortest female friend is 4'2" inches. Wow,
4'2".
That is well within dwarfism range, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's not, and it's under 4'9", I think. 4'9" under.
Tiff says I'm 5'5.5".
Yeah, she's got to get that ½ inch somewhere, hasn't she? In height, I mean.
And and
dirty-minded sod.
And Joe says ½ inch. That's what she said.
I didn't get it.
Nathan says I was more of a Tackleberry fan myself. Yeah. I like Tackleberry.
I liked the lieutenant. I thought he was.
So, I can't remember Tackleberry. Which one's that?
He was the gun.
The gun with all the guns and the.
He was the one where on the range, where in Citizens on Patrol, the fat guy fires the shotgun off and then turns around with it, and they all duck for cover. And Tackleberry's the only one stood there because he's a gun nut. He knew that if he hadn't cocked it, then there's no way it'd fire.
Oh.
So yeah.
John says he was 6 feet at 12 and 6'5" at 14. Bloody hell. Jim Alcott says Perry's brother Michael Dean played DT, defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. I worked that out for myself. For the Cleveland Browns and Denver Broncos. He was a great player. Sorry about that. They've got a bit of NFD kicking in. Jim says, John Thompson, were you recruited for a basketball, John? Aaronville says, I'm 5'5". I'm cheap to run, can fit in all cars, beds, seats, and clothes and shoes.
And most overhead storage compartments. Oh, John says yes for basketball at Penn State, but went to main campus. Was in branch campus. Ooh. I was never much good at basketball.
I was never much good at any sport.
That's why I joined the RAF.
It's funny because it's true.
Nathan says, John, same. I've only met 2 people over 7'2". I've only met 1. So you're beating me. John says, Calvin Booth at PSU made me feel short. In a way, I feel sorry for people that I won't say abnormally tall, but that sounds cruel. But you know what I mean. That fall outside of the normal range for height, because they get a lot of stick. They get this because a lot of people stick up for people who are shorter in stature, but not a lot of people stand up for people who are outside of the normal range height that are taller than average.
And it's a pig in a world designed for people that are 5'8", which is what everything is still designed for, even though the median height of adults in, say, Western countries is way more than 5'8" now.
Yeah.
So everything, cars, trains, aircraft seats, everything is designed for 5'8" people.
Yeah.
That's why I can't possibly fly economy anymore.
Nothing to do with you being nicknamed Weight Rose.
No.
Jim says, John, your height at such a young age would naturally attract recruiters. Yeah, they probably thought he was going to be 10 foot. Just place the ball in the net from the other side. Joe says, then Paul got both the looks and athleticism.
Harsh.
But true.
That's harsh.
Aaronville says, John, what's the tallest and shortest person that can fit in a cockpit of a fighter plane? That's a good question.
It really depends. So with fighters, for instance, the seat itself doesn't move up and down, but the pan does. So you can raise and lower the ejection seat. The rocket motor that it's attached to stays where it is, but the seat back and pan can slide up and down. So you can get over 6 foot, but I'm not sure how. Like different aircraft will be different.
Every aircraft's different. Like for the RAF, they have to go and be measured, so that they can work from that what aircraft they can fly.
So we have
the old. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
So we have a cockpit of a Mirage 3.0 at Fighter World, and with the seat lowered all the way, close the canopy. My head hits the canopy without wearing a helmet, so I'd be too tall for a Mirage, but fit very comfortably in a Hornet.
I'm going to upset Gary Morris.
Is that a straightforward pork pie?
That's a pork pie.
They say it's just wrong on so many levels.
Delicious.
Gary says, I'm 6'1" in the morning and 5'10" by the end of the day. My spine is a bit loose in places. Martin Baker bang seats cause the loose parts. Yes, the famous Martin Baker letdown.
Yeah, that's what 20-something G acceleration will do to your back, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, there's a lot of planes I could fly in. In fact, I did fly in as a passenger, but I couldn't get a ride on a Harrier because at the time it was the Harrier T2, which was like the GR1, GR3 size, and there was a limit to the thigh length to fly in one because of the it's a very small cockpit, and the combing of the cockpit after a certain amount, you were likely to lose your legs if you ejected.
Yeah. If you ejected, you'd leave your legs behind.
They had a thigh length limit, and I'm 6'2", 6'3", something. So I was over the thigh length limit for Harriers in those days. The modern Harriers, I'd be okay in because they are considerably larger on the inside. But I don't know anyone who flies them anymore, so can't get a lifting one. Sadly.
John says, people hassle me on my height. I move things out of reach. Lol. And Jim says, good one, John Thompson. Julian says, I did suggest to the guy I work with that if we split the difference, we'd both be a decent height, although I could have phrased it better than suggesting he give me 12 inches.
Well, yeah.
Moving on.
And that, Your Honour, is the case for the defence.
Yeah. John says, planes are fun for me. Feel like the triple jointed alien on Close Encounters, the tall one usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julian says, one bonus of me being a short ass John T, I don't notice the lack of legroom on aircraft. Yeah. And Paul says, Daff and I, Lancashire lad, Essex girl, just spent 10 minutes trying to spell Schwarzkopf. Julian says, by the way, Gary, you were right about William Perry's weight, 335 pounds.
He was a big boy. He was a big boy, big unit.
And Tiff says, I'm melting. It's 27 degrees here. It's 28 here.
He could also do that jump test. They do a thing where you have to do a standing jump up onto a box of a certain height. He could do that. Over 300 pounds, he could still do that jump test. His thighs were enormously strong. Just didn't have much stamina.
Did the box take the impact?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
Wow.
a good point. Yeah. But yeah, he was a big old lad. Right. You know what I'm doing.
GM says, in a Mirage, I had the seat on its lowest setting. In the F-18, I'd have the seat at midpoint. In combat, the lowest setting. The F-16, you recline at 16 degrees rearwards, seat at full height.
Yeah, right.
Paul says, Tiff, come to West Oz, average 36 degrees C. And JT says, astronauts had a 6 foot height limit. Mm-hmm. Tiff says, it's a bad time of year to be a goth and wear all black.
Yeah.
And Julian says, that tall guy was the only one in the call center who worked in who I could still see over the acoustic screens when he sat down. And I tried to do a bit of brush painting just now. I don't know how you're managing it, Mikey, but the paint was drying on the brush.
I add water to it. It's acrylic paint. And I've got a fan on to keep the room cool.
I've got my fan on. It's on its lowest setting, so it doesn't interfere with the stream, but it's doing the job at the moment.
I've only got mine on number 1 with 3.
John says,
blown all over the place.
Yeah. John says, can relate, Julian.
Relate.
That was me. Yes,
Sorry,
definitely. So that's what I did this morning before it got too hot, and it definitely needs another coat.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You sound so enthusiastic.
I was hoping it wouldn't need another coat, but hell, I'll do it in the morning first thing. I did manage to prime it and get the sky colour on this morning. JT John Thompson says, I fit in a Jaguar once. Fun getting in.
Yeah, I fit in a Jaguar once as well. Just once.
Me too.
Yeah, and then he got kicked out of the zoo for trying.
It's the last time.
John says, John, that plane looks good.
Thank you.
He does annoyingly he does build a good model.
Oh,
Yeah,
stop it.
every time. It's annoying.
Oh, it's just thinking mirages. I've not shown Gary GM. I had built a Mirage, a kinetic 48 Sky one, but I had not shown you. So if you can be bothered,
Tiff, can you make John bigger, please? For half an hour.
like that. So,
So we were going to see the real thing.
no, not so much. So this is the kinetic 48 scale Mirage 3.0, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. And it's GM would recognise which squadron that is. It's 77 Squadron, the Grumpy Monkeys.
Grumpy monkeys.
Love it. Love it.
Which I was my last posting, so that's their current patch.
I didn't realise Australia had 77 squadrons.
We don't anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
77 aircraft.
That's it. Oh, and that he'd recognise that as well. So that's the anyone that's posted a 77 Squadron wears the presidential South Korean presidential citation from the Korean War and what 77 Squadron did for them.
Ah, very good. Timmy says, that's coming up a treat, John. Good to see you paying respect to the senior service.
Yes, very good.
Jim says, a tight squeeze to fit in a Spitfire 8. No problem in a Sea Fury or the P-51 Mustang. The Mustang is very comfortable for long-range flying. There we go.
It's built for Americans.
Julian says, yay, I'm under the maximum height limit for an astronaut. Knowing my luck, I'm also under the effing minimum height. Plus, there's the whole being disabled thing, shakes head, details. That's all right. If you're floating around, disability isn't a problem, is it?
Yeah.
Nathan says, oldest and the best to me. Ah, is Nathan a puddle pirate as well? Intriguing. Paul says, the only plane I really enjoyed flying was a drag wrap. Oh,
Don't know what that is.
me neither. John says, Julian, you actually grow taller in zero gravity. Ah, you might hit the 5 foot mark.
Julian's giving it, sign me up.
John says, John, Mirage is French. I know the Etenard was. Yeah, Mirage is French.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Where
they are French. We built them under license in Australia. So yeah, the Mirage 3.0, O for Australia, quite funnily enough, because the first model was the A, the 3A. You'd think it would make sense, but they used O for the Australian runs.
But Oz.
Yeah,
Oz. Did you, when you built them out there, did you put the wings on upside down?
Oh, stop it! Yeah, well, I did, but nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
Okay.
Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
It's flat plate lift and vortex lift. Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Callum says, our friend Callum says, I'm 6'3" and tried getting into an F-86 Sabre. I couldn't fold myself enough to get the canopy closed.
Well, I managed to fit in a Hawk, so.
A Hawk Tour.
Hawk Tour.
Isn't there 148 Hawk coming out at some point? Someone. Or am I remembering wrong?
I don't know. Revell doing their 132nd re-release soon.
Yeah.
That.
Ah, there you go. Nathan says he never served, but he had friends that did. Oh, cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I never
Wow.
flew, and I had friends who did, so that was always good fun.
Yeah.
So Paul Tanker said earlier he said he flying in a drag wrap. So what he meant was a Dragon Rapide.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful aircraft.
Very nice. Very elegant. Very elegant lines, Dragon Rapide.
John says Argentina used the Entenard in the Falklands War.
They
They
did.
use a super Étendard to launch exocet missiles. Not the Étendard 4. They had the Super.
Weren't you responsible for shooting them down, Gary?
Some dear friends of mine were responsible for that sort of thing, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely they were.
You
Amongst
just-
Skyhawks. Skyhawks and Mirages and several other, I think Hercules, and I think someone took out some Canberras using a Sea Dart, the Royal Navy did, I think, from memory.
wow.
Whilst you sat in a hedge and made sure nobody got too close to them.
Well, we were actually on a different island, making a nuisance of ourselves, basically. So yeah. It was good though.
Julian says, unfortunately, Mikey, there's involuntary movement and physics. I once kicked a male carer in his delicate bits. I moved my body, I stopped, but my foot didn't. And GM says, wow, John, that is a fabulous build there. Well done. Yes, the Manic Monkeys. Yes, the Korean Award is found on the wing fences of the F-18. I have the same badge on the port side of the Learjet.
Yeah. I don't have mine anymore, of course, because when you leave, you hand it back, because you only keep it if you were there, and I certainly was not.
Ooh. Callum says, Gary just reminded me, I have the AFV Club scimitar that I'm going to make in Falkland scheme. Nice.
Nice.
You could put Waitrose as a name on it. Do a little stencil with Waitrose as the name on the side of it. That'd be cool. In honor of Harry.
Julian says, I apologise for accidentally kicking the carer, but we agreed the apology was slightly marred by the fact I was pissing myself laughing at the time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And Julian says, that is looking fab, John.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. What colour are the wheel hubs?
The what?
The wheel hubs.
Probably
gonna do mine,
aluminium or steel.
Aluminium.
I'm going to do mine like a high-speed steel sort of colour.
Okay. So I shall do it in white aluminium.
Yeah, that'll do.
Sorry about the noise.
Oh, it's all right.
Don't lie.
This these they're very clear where things go, but the demarcation of panel lines aren't really visible on this, so it's hard to work out exactly where they want me to put them. That'll do.
John says, I always laughed. If the Avro Lancaster and the B-29 had a baby, the B-36 would be it. Interesting how the cockpit was highlight the Lancasters. Better visibility? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it would have been. And it's easier to get shot at, which makes things a whole lot more exciting.
Alrighty. I think to the other side, I'm going to I've got to decide what stencils to put on. I think I'll put on whatever stencils are white. Would make sense, I think.
GM says, I'm resident here. ROK President J in Moon. told me to keep it on at least one aircraft in perpetuity.
Oh,
What?
wonderful. Yeah, the presidential citation for 77 Squadron. Yeah. There's a number of RAF people that were attached to 77 Squadron in Korea, and some of them died in that conflict as well. It's a conflict that was largely forgotten about.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's still going on today. If that makes sense, like they have a
They have the
truce,
demilitarized zone, don't
a
they?
ceasefire. Yeah, they have a ceasefire, but 38th parallel is still very much a thing, as GM would attest.
Yeah. Well, the Americans
mad.
still send hundreds, if not thousands, of troops a year to guard it, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Jim says, I'm not much a fighter. However, two guys were giving me a spot of bother. I stopped one's fist with my chin and hit the other in the knee with my nose. Very good. Paul says, when my son was in the army, he was tracking an F-111, then it disappeared off screen. It had flown into the side of a hill. Ooh.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Happened a lot.
Damn shame.
We had a Chinook fly over last night, and it got to halfway, so in the middle of St. Asaphan Rill, and then just disappeared off flight radar.
Yeah.
So
if they drop below a certain height, they drop off the.
Yeah.
Because all the tracking on flight radar is done by the secondary surveillance radar, the squawk code.
Yeah.
So if they drop down low, they'll lose the squawk code. But very often they come over here going into Shawbury and you can't see them on the flight radar. And you'll never see an F-35 on flight radar either.
No. Although there was one on there last night.
Yeah, there would be.
By Scotland.
But I won't go into details, of course.
No. Do not go giving away secrets. Because they are hush-de-hush and you can get locked up. Because I will report you. Later. But if you would like more information to extract information from, he lives at.
Yes.
John says, my uncle carried scars from Korea. He was in the United States Air Force. He was a crew chief on a B-26.
There you go. Wonderful. Thanks for his service.
Nathan says, most people only know the Korean War through MASH. Yeah, that was such a good show.
Oh, it was.
Jim says, the B-36 was an enormous aircraft. Almost too big to fly, but it did. Yeah. John says, 6 turning, 4 burning.
Yeah.
Columbus says, the B-36 aka 2 turning, 2 burning, 2 smoking, 2 choking, and 2 missing in reference to the 10 engines, 6 turboprops and 4 jet engines. They were horribly unreliable. There we go.
Well, impressive aircraft, though. I mean, you look at the advances in that compared to what was not that long before in the Second World War. It's incredible.
Well, listen, that's the thing. You look at the Vulcan. The difference between the Vulcan and Spitfire is about 15 years.
Yeah, I think 11 years between
Vulcan
the
and
Lancaster and yeah.
It's insane. Well, war is a necessity, as we mentioned.
Yeah. Julian says, when my uncle was on national service, his troop ship was heading to the war in Korea. The ceasefire was signed while they were on their way, so the ship was rerouted to Hong Kong.
Oh, wonderful.
That was lucky.
GM says the Australians are held in high regard here, as are the Kiwis and the English. Sadly, though, the Americans are reluctantly not. 33,000 American service guys are here and cause a lot of fights and are.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think
That's just not cricket.
Yeah, and Australia has a very high regard for South Korean people as well.
Aussies are just nice people generally.
Well,
I think
some of them. I met some nice people.
I mean, there's going to be assholes in every group, isn't there? But Generally, Aussies
Yes.
are pretty chill.
I'm this group's asshole.
Well,
I was just going to say that I'm this group's arsehole.
No, John's at the arse end of the world, so he's the
Ah.
asshole of this channel.
I'd rather be at his end of the world than the one I'm currently at.
It's a beautiful day here today.
Yeah, it is.
Saying. The weather's lovely.
Even with the fans on, it's like 25 degrees.
And GM follows on with, and resentments. The Americans I work with are extremely good. Yeah. Oh, I haven't achieved much today because of the damned heat.
This damned infernal heat.
Don't you know?
What?
Julian says, very lucky, Mikey. My uncle's national service was 1952 to 1954.
There you go. It's currently 27 degrees here.
29 here.
Yeah, it's 29 tomorrow, apparently.
Wow.
And then Tuesday, it's dropping down to 18 with rain, which will be nice.
John, can I borrow your jumper on Tuesday?
Julie says, very lucky. Oh, we've read that one, haven't we? John says, I heard the model of the B-52 was made from balsa, bought at a hobby shop at the last minute. Love both the English and the Australians. Oh, we love you too. We love everyone that watches this channel.
Yeah.
Lube and subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to lube and subscribe. Especially Ian, Mr. Ellison, if you're still there. You've been very quiet. Paul Tanker says, same here, John.
Yeah.
Joe says, time to feed the dogs. Everyone have a fun and safe weekend building a little Tamir 148 M58 Stuart. Hope to have it done by Sunday night. Bye, guys. See you later, dude.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
I might work on my Land Rover this weekend. See if I can get it finished.
I don't really know what I'm going to do this weekend because of this bloody weather. Scott says 5 degrees C here outside, 24 degrees inside. Good man.
What are we saying? Or 12 degrees here now?
Yeah. We've got 7 minutes to go.
We have.
We've still got 34 people watching.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Ooh. Oh, don't know what's happened to Waitrose. I think he's on the phone or something.
I think he might be on the phone.
We've just gone up to 24 likes. Come on, Ian. Don't forget yours. Bob says, middle of the valleys, 31 degrees reported. And rising. There we go. Yeah, it usually gets warmer in the evening. Eh? John says, once finished the Europa, my back has other plans. Yeah. Don't injure yourself, dude. Not worth it. Gary says, Gary's Travel, which is his other channel, says, sorry, trying to sort out travel insurance. Okay.
That's all right, mate.
Make sure to go over and subscribe to Gary's Travel. It's Waitrose, but traveling.
I have to go and look at that. I didn't know about that. I'm going to have to go and have a look at that.
That's because you've not been watching Monday Matters, obviously, because he's discussed it a few times.
Has he?
Yes. Or is that just on the Saturday supporters special? Do you not get a supporters special?
No.
Oh, you must be shit. You must be a shit mate then. Only joke, kid. He knows I love him. GM says, amusingly, the older Koreans hate the Japanese. I jokingly told my first wife I would marry a Japanese girl. I was threatened with being thrown out of the country. Ooh. Ian says, I'm here and I pre-lubed.
Ah, wonderful.
That still makes me go, ooh. because I still have this image of like Ian sat next to his desk workbench, like because especially now that he's shaved all his hair off and everything and his beard, like all slathered up with Vaseline or something, making models, just like, watching the show. Gary's Travel says, I don't know why it's chosen this instead of Gary stuff. You must be logged in to both. John says, thanks again, guys. Wow, John. Yeah. It says Navy, not Ivan, which is really impressive. Paul says, I'm going to start putting little glass headlights on my die-cast collection. Nice.
Cool.
Tiff's put the link into Gary's Travel channel. Julie says 30 degrees C here at the moment, going down to 21 degrees on Monday, and on next week's live stream of the Weather Channel. Yes. Tiff says, I was the first subscriber. Do I get a prize? Ha ha. Yeah, why not? Tiff says, thanks for the link, Tiff. Subscribed. Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So what I think I'll do is I'll put this last decal that's in the water on, and then I don't think I'll do any more decaling or whatever off screen. I think I'll just in the next couple of days I'll work out what stencils to apply. Because yeah, I might put the white ones on, but yeah, either way, this will look pretty much as you see it until next week. But the wings could go on, but I won't. They'll be up looking like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the weather for here for the next few days because it might. Well, yeah.
Oh.
What I might have to do is paint in the morning before we go live.
Yeah. Or late in it. Oh, you don't do evenings, do you?
My body shuts down at about 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you know that Gino became a member the other day?
Nice one, Gino.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. It's always good to have members. So, which means, obviously, because we're on the 11th now, at some point in the next 2 weeks, we've got to do another members live stream.
Already? Bloody hell.
Yeah. Because we usually do it on a Wednesday, don't we? But, and we don't, we don't want to upset a certain person by making John do live streams every Wednesday. Because we do it at gunpoint, obviously. Yeah. Oops. There you go. Because I was gonna say, since Mr. Morris, since Wednesday's better for Mr. Morris, maybe switch the Tuesday build to a Wednesday. But then I remembered that would really upset someone that we all know.
We just don't really want to clash with M4H's stuff, do we? Really?
No, I don't want it to be a competition.
No.
I think. Yeah. I mean, for me, I should. My primary focus, like all models for Heroes Volunteers, will be the beneficiaries.
Yeah. Of which I am one.
I was one. I am now a volunteer.
Yes. Right, where did we get up to? We got up to GM, I think. Paint looks good on the Sea Fury, John. Think you got a good match there.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I every time I see it on screen, that looks good.
Paul says, Danke meaning Kinder. You're welcome. John says, hey?
Oh my God.
John says, something, guess your head. Vielen Dank, auf Wiedersehen. Oh, gern
geschehen. Vielen Dank and auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah. I had one, then the
Which
wheels
is
fell off.
German for lube and subscribe.
Paul's waving. And Julian says, I saw the title of Model Minutes video that began simple but good, and I thought, it's a video about me. Wait a second. Made by Tamir. Right, we're at the 2-hour mark already. So I've painted the undercarriage struts, the wheel hubs, and the inside of the wheel covers.
Well, I have painted the rails that go on top of the missiles.
Yeah.
I have tried to paint the rocket pods, but the paint was drying on the brush, so I had to stop. I've made the underwing tanks. Oh, I've just dropped one. Made the underwing tanks. And everything else I did before we went live.
Yeah. Awesome, buddy. You all right, John?
Yeah. Looking for a thing. But as you've probably seen, I went... Just left that alone. So I've, as you see, it's coming together.
It's looking good.
It's coming together. So nonchalant.
Blah blah blah. So it's it's looking. I think Gary said that he's quite pleased with the color match. As am I. I think it's pretty close to how they were. I think.
Yeah.
So that's looking lovely.
Super.
Nice kit. It's a very nice kit.
Yes. Right. We will be back on Monday at 12 o'clock.
I'll be there if I'm not skipping around the woods in my leotard and my mankini.
Excellent. So we'll be back for the normal panel show where we just build whatever we want on Monday. 12 till 2. Me and Marley will certainly be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah. And then Tuesday, we've got a new build site. Yes.
We do.
I'm looking forward to this one. Should be fun.
Oh, yes. It's the
LGOC, London General Omnibus Company. Omnibus.
Yes.
Omnibus. Right. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you later, everyone. Cool, Val.
Hey, up.